welcome to my YouTube channel. Here is this brand new page that is focused on the retreating forehead, receding hairline. And so here is a very old Carter's photo of the death mask. It looks different than what we have today. And I'll show you a little bit farther down, but you can go to my website and read me quoting Josiah Quincy, for example, from, anyway, yeah, this is from William B. McCarl's article that I grabbed that, but of course he's quoted several other places. But he did say Joseph was very athletic, but he had a long nose and a retreating forehead. And we know that was said quite a bit. It was also said by others, and I do throw in 2 Kings, which talks about Elisha, who was being mocked. It says Hebrew youth, the Hebrew version, it wasn't children, but they were mocking him and said, "Go up thou," and they were just, "Bald head, thou bald head." And he turned around and looked at them and cursed them, and then there came out 2 she-bears out of the wood and tear 42 of the children or youth, or they're trying to, anyway, you go to the church's website, they're like, "We're probably really more like 1920, early 20s, not children." So it's not so horrifying that Elisha cursed them, but yeah, they just don't mock a prophet if he does lose his hair, maybe. I don't know. Without fail, basically, yeah, and men, if they bash my picture, it's, and they're dramatic about it, and angry, they're angry about the hairline. And they just think Joseph always had that bouffant, that poof. Okay, and so this is Carter's. And I was comparing it. I'll show you this to show you how old this is. You can see this, and I grabbed it from the internet, but it's from just Church News, posted that in an article in 2019. But you can see that it's, okay, this is this. So I was comparing, I'm like, okay, so this is 1800s, basically. This is slightly different, so I don't know. Unless this is the glass negative and this is the positive. They look to be at different angles, so there's some difference, but this is from a glass negative. Let's see if it does it have that little spot right there? It's damaged right there. Oh. I'm like thinking right now as I'm looking at this to see how old. So is this even older? Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to see if that's the same side of the face, because it's hard to tell as you look at the eyelid there. And there's that left eyebrow. So I know this is his right eyebrow, that's his left eyebrow. This is in the correct orientation. Yeah, these aren't the same photo. But it's interesting how, like, you can see it, that lighting, that angle, he's sort of got this shape going on. Yeah, those are different. Something different is going on here. I don't think this is unless this is the pedestal that was shined up. Okay, well, this has less damage than that one, even though I linked that one. But anyway, this is amazing that I'm glad they shared that. I'm gonna keep trying to look for more very old. Either way, I think this is, I believe this is from a glass negative, so it's like 1800s. This is the most accurate, very old copy of the Devil Death Mask. And you see how I'm pointing out how receded his hairline is. And so you just listen to the first 5 minutes of Truman G. Madsen. He's like, he really had a recede. He really emphasizes it. But when you look at my video here, and I have a call number so you can find those pictures, but it's not the exact same picture. So look how different. Here's the plaster. It was damaged. See how much more of his face is actually caught. So really, the damage broke off this much of his hairline. And they just slapped some plaster all along here. So right, yeah, and because that's where there's that indent that almost looks like a hole at the top of his head. But really, looking at this, you can see this is no hair. All the way back to here, it's clear, but then they threw plaster like that and it broke. Just so much damage. So this is on a loop. You can just keep going back and forth on this. So there's that. So it's no talking, it's just playing. You can see that on the death mask on display now, you can tell maybe it's receded slightly, but if you look at the oldest photo of the death mask, you really see the hairline is receded, you guys. And then you look at the hairline of this guy. This guy's hair is not more receded than this death mask right there. It's the same. And this kind of looks like a clump of hair kind of pushed forward to kind of try to hide. But you definitely see that there is hair right there on this picture of mine. See, there's hair right here. It's just so blown out that it appears, and this is made to look larger and more expanded than it is because, well, the collar looks larger than that on that side, but you know that there, it really only goes to there, right? So very well, this forehead is made to look a little bit more dramatic. But especially this side of the head, you see how it comes really, but this seems to be sort of a normal hairline on the side of the head, whereas just this one side really is an abnormal feature. So since this is not this picture, I'm really just thinking and trying to understand. There's a lot more to check out. So if you guys know of any other older pictures of the death mask, let me know. But I do think they both have the exact same sort of some lines and things of these glass negatives of Carter's. It's just so dramatically. So we're at a little bit different angle there. So that's going on, but there's the tip of the nose. I lined it up the best that I could. So that wasn't too bad. But wow, look at that. Like all of this. There was so much more of his hair. Line, hair. There's a little bit of hair there, but it's definitely showing, okay, he's really got a receded hairline. So yeah, it just looks, it looks like the same hairline. And then when I superimpose it on the facial analysis, it's very clear on the left side of his face is heavily damaged. Yeah, so there's that left eye. So you can just go all the way down. And I need to throw that on there, but this is the outline of his face put onto the death mask. See, that follows very flush right there. But when you look right here, oh, well, it doesn't match there. It matches right there to there. Like, it's all along here. Dimensionally, it's expanded, right? And so this is probably the same distance from the camera. This whole line that I sketched is probably about the same distance from the camera. So there's camera distortion, but that's why doing the separate features sort of works better. And then you can see here, I've superimposed the outline of the death mask. That's where it's amazing. You put it on there, like, oh, well, it really matches. And then it's, again, confirmation what you see up there. The death mask. Really, you take that outline of the death mask and put that there. It matches really well up to there. But even this side, it doesn't. I hate that pop-up. This is more farther forward than that, whereas on this side, it's farther back than that side, right? It's more receded on this side of this man's face than there, whereas this is normal and this is pushed forward, but there's damage to the skin. So there's, I believe the scalp came forward on this area where it doesn't quite match. It matches flesh. So let me take this and put it onto there. You can see right here. It's matching up till there and then all along this area. But there's serious like indentation on his forehead on that part of the death mask. So a lot of injuries. There's that eyebrow. So then we go ahead and look at this again. Did this happen with death? Was that before death? Of course, I think the study of the skulls is showing, well, this eye received a lot of damage before he died, and that there looked to be a healed zygomatic break. The orbital bone just looks like it was all really, really damaged on his left eye. But maybe he received more damage. Again, I don't know. But even looking here, you can see here is you really see that there's a big shadow damage, like there's just a lot more, but maybe they just didn't want to show that side of his face to show this very old picture of the double death mask. So here's this, and again you can see like this hairline really, okay, well here's this hair, but it's receded really far back. So yeah, this is different than this picture, but they're both, oh, don't do that. I don't want you to do that, computer. You just see these markings, these indications that from the glass negative are also kind of seen there. So we'll just go there, there, but I don't think these are the exact same. Look at the angle of that. Angle. So this is not the exact same picture, but they both have similar markings. So I believe this is from a glass negative 1800s, as this one is probably Carter's. But even the church's website, they just say it's a double death mask in a church news article. They didn't give any details on it, so it was just in the church news. So I'll probably actually edit this more tonight, but this page is up if you want to at least look at this video and read, that scripture and the quotes. But just looking at the artwork is very clear. His hairline was receded to the end of his ears, And maybe he had an oddly shaped forehead. But these were not the popular 1800s pictures John Hammer's ancestor was talking about. And these did show, if you line this up with the death mask, it's showing that retreated forehead because this is from a shadow. They would trace the shadow, and they let you do this. They set a whole thing up, the whole process. And I took pictures of this last time I went in May of 2022. They were showing, they created the whole thing that Maudsley had, where they would do this in the 1800s, put a piece of paper on a wall, and then there's a shadow. They shine a light, and they trace your shadow, so it's exact. So Maudsley had the retreating forehead, the shape of the forehead perfectly. And you can see the hair is getting thinner right here, right? He's starting to lose a little bit of hair right here. And it's on the sides, it's retreated pretty far back. So this is 1842, but it seems by later that it's really receded a lot, especially on the side. So this looks a lot more like this. So when you look at this and how receded that is on the side, you look at that picture, it really, yeah, matches. So his hair is being receded till there. That, why people, he's so bald, he's so bald. They're just yelling at me. I'm like, calm down. Calm down. He's not so bald, and who cares? I mean, like half of you guys in Utah have lost most of your hair by your mid-30s as well. And you just turn into Mr. Clean and just shave it off and pretend, oh, you wanted to shave it off and make it shiny and look weird like that. Which I'm not really supportive of. I think it's just weird when white guys go totally bald like that and they get this beard and you look scary. Like you look like someone I wouldn't run away with. I don't run away from. I don't want to go near you. I don't want to talk to you. Like, just stop it. Stop shaving your head and growing beards and just looking like you just came out of jail. Anyway, and those are the same people a lot of times that are criticizing this picture for the hairline. You see it in the artwork. Of course, you don't see this here, but this is what John hammers. I don't see the retreating forehead in this popular 1880s. The popular picture was this. This is the Library of Congress, but the Carter image. We can go here and look at the Carter image. It looks more, it's less smashed together, I think. That the paper curled, and then they took a photo after they put India ink on it. I think there was some distortion from the process that Joseph Smith III went through to make the Library of Congress, because it just looks like a very narrow. It's more narrow than the painting, right? You can go through this and look. Here's the Library of Congress. The eyes are closer together. Everything looks more narrow. It's the only difference really between that and the library and the Carter image. So John Hammer's ancestors saying, this does not look like Joseph Smith. You're really trying to make him look good, right? You know, it's not showing his retreating forehead. Well, this isn't a profile, and the popular picture wasn't a profile picture, right? So retreating is synonymous with receding. His forehead is not receding enough. His forehead's too far down. It needs to be more up here to look like Joseph, because John Hammer's ancestor, knew him really well. And a lot of people said, oh, he had a retreating, good-looking guy, but retreating forehead. They're not standing there staring at his profile and saying, oh, he has an odd shape. They're talking about a receding hairline. Retreating, receding, forehead's receding. So if you're saying you're not seeing a receding forehead, like it's just creeping back like that, right? So, and also this picture that it's not from life, but it's interesting. What I found interesting about that one, well, I mean, it's an oval. I mean, and the image from last summer that real experts don't think look like Joseph Smith's death mask or his artwork. It's not him. Like, there's just the likeness is not there, right? It was a circle, but it seems to be indicated that someone sketched this, possibly looking at, maybe they looked at the daguerreotype, but they were copying the photo of the painting, because that's what Joseph Smith III was selling, what he had. And if you read our paper, you can see the oxidized Emma Smith daguerreotype from 1845. That, how quickly after Julia Murdoch Smith got it and took it to Missouri, because she lived in Missouri, and copied it then, because it ended up in her family album. It was Julia's family album. So it was copied. That daguerreotype was copied in Missouri, I believe, by Julia Murdoch Smith. So, because in the 1860s she was in Missouri. And it's an 1860s carte de visite. Right? And so she was the only Smith child that I know of in the 1860s was in Missouri. 1870s, Alexander went to Missouri first as far as the sons, but it was right before Emma died that he went to Missouri, so it wasn't him who copied in 1860s. And I'll show you what I'm looking at here as I'm just talking out loud. Because by 1870s, cabinet cards became popular, and it was a different... This is not a cabinet card. This is a carte de visite. Okay, and the same. I'll show you Emma's picture right there. This is... That's not a cabinet card. Looks 1860s. It's got the same gold tone. But there are other copies of this that have a lot less detail that look like 1870s, 1880s. It's that thicker cabinet card, bigger. And then it doesn't have as much detail. Almost looks like that increased contrast, which is what happens each time a copy is made. Right? So anyway, I'll just end this video before I start talking about every other detail of anything that anyone could ask me about. Anyway, thanks you guys. Have a good day.